Girls, what are the things a guy does on a first date that kills it? Smells like juice. Was on a first date. From OkCupid. Guy was nice, funny, lots in common. We went to Starbucks to meet, and he smelled like juice. Like a lot. Whole time, I was thinking, did he just have juice? Is it body wash? Did he spill juice on himself earlier? Does he know he smells like juice? Can I reasonably date someone who smells like juice this strongly? Edit. Mango? Papaya maybe? It was strong. Being on his phone way too much, especially when we're at dinner/a restaurant/etc. I just find it really rude. But what if my post is about to hit the front page? Don't worry, it'll probably still be there tomorrow. Don't shy away from getting deep. Some of the best first dates I've had, we ended up talking for hours about some crazy thing that we both had in common that was weird or not mainstream at all, or very conceptual. That said, I also don't need to know about all of your flaws up front. That's exactly my mental attitude when I go on a first date. Get in as deep as possible, but usually she ends up asking for deeper, which leads to me explaining that it's the deepest I can get before she puts her clothes on and leaves. Had a guy ask if I was on birth control. A bit presumptuous. Farts and blames it on the waiter when you're having dinner at her house. I would fall over from laughter. The fact that he has personal waiters going to her house for a dinner of 2 is already pretentious enough. I hope you don't mind I brought my mother along. It's okay I guess. Where is she? Places her on table. Mom, this is Laura. Laura, this is my mom. Kathy. Talking about his divorce. Talking about his divorce for literally 20 to 30 minutes without asking me a thing about myself, or even trying to fake a bit of, but enough about that. Tell me about your self-interest. Constantly talking about himself without asking anything about me, or when he does ask about me, interrupts me to talk about himself. In other words, completely dominating the conversation, to speak about nothing else besides himself. This kills the date. This kills every conversation, not just dates. Talking about exes, his last hookups or girls he finds hot besides you. I went on a date a few weeks ago, and he gave me a ride home, but took me on a detour to show me his ex's house. Pleased to say, that was the only date he got from me. What? Not lying. He wanted to show me how rich her dad was. Yay, make me feel even more inadequate than I already do. Corrects you when you order a drink. Once I ordered the vodka soda on special and this douche says, no, she won't be having that. Give her the Belvedere. Another guy one time cancelled the wine I'd ordered and ordered something more expensive. It's happened more than a few times. It's really irritating. Ugh, this is so horrible. First of all, flashing cash is gauche. We've already FB stalked you. We already know you have a job. No one cares. Second of all, beverage selection matters. With the vodka, well, vodka is vodka I suppose, but with wine it's just an insult to your taste buds. Married now, but the worst was always generally trying too hard to impress. I don't need you to try show me how much you know about food/beer/wine/music/movies/exercise/whatever we're talking about or trying to enjoy. Let's just have a conversation. Okay? You don't have to win. This is especially annoying when it manifests as you don't want to order that. You have to get this, it's so much better. Also, I never had a guy try to order for me, but if it had ever happened, I would just walked out. Talking about how he's such a nice guy, not like those neckbeards who won't hold a door for a lady, or who have bad relationships with their moms. I had a date with a guy who thought he was in because he made me dinner. He was a terrible cook and an even more obnoxious conversation partner. Also, maybe I'm picky, but when a guy doesn't even pretend to dress nicely for the date, it's a major turn off. Like, showing up wearing a black hoodie has visible Cheeto dust where you wiped your hands, or maybe there's a suspicious stain on the crotch of your pants. Yeah, I'm definitely not going to investigate that more closely with any part of my body. I really don't think expecting basic hygiene can be considered picky. Drives like a lunatic. I went on a date who went speeding through a parking lot, up and down the lanes, looking for a spot. Chill, please. If you like something, that was a guy thing getting questioned to death about it, because they are trying to prove that you are just saying those things to try and be interesting. Like no really I like video games. Same goes for sports. Holy shit. I once went out with this guy. I already had a pretty strong idea I wasn't going to see him again because he was being rude to the waiters, but I tried to be nice anyway. I mentioned I'm going to be busy on Saturday because I want to watch quali for the Formula 1 race. He starts freaking interrogating me on the history of F1 since the beginning of times. He starts asking me who won the championship on certain years, how many times certain racers had won the championship, and so on. I answer correctly, and he goes, see, that's not true. James Hunt won 2 championships. So I Google it and show him he was wrong, and he gets pissed off. Another time I mentioned to this guy I was chatting with that I like Ferrari, and he started going, lol, you must be a Kimi fan, right? I think Schumacher is the best racer Ferrari ever had. When I mentioned I was thinking more about Hawthorne/Collins/Von Trips/Hill, he started snapping at me that he only judged racers who raced after he was born, then never spoke to me again, sad face. As a not girl who dates guys, I recently had a date with a fella who just talked about his job for an hour. He is a youth worker, and his job is genuinely interesting and changes lives, but he was talking about it like he was Jesus McBuddha, the saintliest saint. I had to just stop him. I don't think there was chemistry either way, but honestly it was like he was interviewing for a job. This is exactly why I refuse to date doctors. I was a STEM major in college and eventually went into law. Every single date I have ever been on with a doctor has devolved into the guy lecturing me on how he saved lives and actually did something with his life, very obviously implying that my job is nowhere near as important, even ignoring the fact that I've gotten to do some pretty amazing things that have absolutely changed the lives of my clients for the better. Buddy, I was classmates with a bunch of people who went to med school. They were very far from being saints. And while their job may be important, so is mine. And so are the jobs of millions of other non-doctors out there. Still makes me mad just thinking about it. Hi, nice to meet you. Dang, our kids are going to be cute. Say in some way or another, I'm not like other guys. Hokage. Alternatively, you're not like all the other girls. It generalizes girls as inherently bad, and comparing me isn't a compliment. Spends the whole time complaining about his crazy ex. So much yes. Tell me, my ex-girlfriend is crazy, and I hear I don't like dating human girls who experience the full range of human emotions and prefer dating someone out of the Japanese robot-made catalog. Expect me to be totally unhelpful if you ever have a problem or an emotion. I would at least wait for an explanation of why he thinks she's crazy. If he says something like she ate my TV remote and smeared her feces on my dog, that sounds pretty reasonable to call crazy. I had a guy lick the plate at the end of dinner. It wasn't a silly joke. It wasn't to show off his skills. It was a plate of tikka masala with perfectly good naan just sitting next to it, and he picked the whole thing up and licked it clean, while I sat in absolute astonishment. Then he asked to come back to my place like nothing out of the ordinary happened. He was in his early 30s. Sigh. Insisting on walking me home after I tell him not to. I feel far more comfortable walking alone than I do letting someone I just met know where I live. When they pick fun at your appearance or the things you do, not in the flirty way, in the way bullies do, and try to cover it up with them being shy or nervous. Like, thanks, I wasn't aware I have a big forehead, or I was wearing too much makeup, or that I pronounce things funny, but I'll forgive you, because you are so nervous. /s. A lot of men tend to try to be impressive, and it ends up coming across as condescending instead. And there's no non-awkward way to politely say I already knew this thing you were really keen on explaining to me, but not hearing my opinion on. I always hated it when a guy would attempt to flirt by making little digs or mean observations. Are you going for the kindergarten boy being mean to the girl you like approach? Are you trying to seem less into me than I'm to you? Are you just a giant asshole? Either way, I have walked away from guys mid-first date for that kind of thing, and they always look so surprised and hurt by this. How did you not see this coming? I do have self-esteem.